Hey, Commstechie here, and today we're diving deep into one of the biggest, most important shifts happening in our industry, the Great Merge. We're talking about how audiovisual and unified communications stopped being two separate things and became one. And trust me, what this means for all of us, it's a game changer. So let's start with a feeling I think we all know. You walk into a meeting room ready to go, and it's a mess. There's a pile of remotes, a jungle of cables you're afraid to touch, and you need a PhD just to get your presentation on the screen. It was this universal shared headache. But why? Why was it always so complicated? Well, the answer really comes down to this, a tale of two different teams. See, in the old way, you had your AV folks who handled the screens and speakers, and then you had the IT or UC team for the video conferencing. When something broke, everybody just pointed fingers. It was cable chaos. The new way? It's one team, one single Ethernet cable doing all the work, and those seamless one-touch to join meetings we expect now, that's the journey we're going to break down. All right, so let's dig into that. To really get it, we've got to understand those two separate worlds and exactly why they created such a mess in the first place. The classic AV world was, at its heart, completely analog. The best way to picture it is like a physical chain. Every single job, mixing audio, switching video, you name it, needed its own separate, specialized box. And all these boxes were linked together by these big, clunky cables. With every single connection, every foot of cable, that signal got just a little bit weaker, a little fuzzier. It was fragile, expensive, and incredibly complex to troubleshoot. But then, a revolution happened. Seriously, something came along that didn't just tweak things, it flipped the whole table. And that was the Great Merge to IP, or Internet Protocol. Everything changed. And just look at this slide. This right here visualizes the old way perfectly. You'd have your camera and mic, right? Then that signal had to run into physical processing boxes, then get transported over a whole bunch of different cable types into this massive, complicated matrix switcher, all just to get routed to a screen. Every single one of those arrows was a potential point of failure. Now, look at this. It's night and day, right? In the new IP world, you still capture the audio and video, of course, but then all that processing, all that switching, it all gets turned into data. It's transported over one single standard network cable straight to the output. All that physical mess? Gone. It's been replaced by the power of the network. So what's the magic behind this? It's a technology called AV over IP, or AVoIP. This is the absolute core concept. It basically just takes those traditional video and audio signals, turns them into digital data, and wraps them in network packets. All of a sudden, your 4K video signal is treated just like any other piece of data on your network, just like an email. You might be thinking, okay, so what? Why is that so powerful? Well, it's a huge deal because it means we can use everything we already know and love about IT networks. You get insane scalability. Need another display? Just plug it into a network switch. The cabling is obviously way simpler, but the big one is you can now manage, monitor, and secure all your AV gear from one dashboard, just like you do with your servers. Okay, so that brings us to today. Let's talk about the anatomy of the smart meeting rooms that are built on this foundation. What are the key pieces? You know, the easiest way to think about a modern room is like a person. You've got the brain. That's your UC platform, your Microsoft Teams, your Zoom, your WebEx. It's running the show. Then you have the senses. These are the amazing 4K cameras and the beamforming mics that can actually follow your voice around the room. And what connects it all? The nervous system. And that is that powerful managed IP network we've been talking about. And these brains, man, they have gotten incredibly smart. They aren't just for making video calls anymore. They manage the room's hardware. They give you data on how the room is being used. They push out firmware updates, all from a single cloud portal like the Teams Admin Center or the WebEx Control Hub. The software is officially in charge of the hardware now. So this massive tech merge, it didn't just change the gear. It created a huge shift for the people, the folks who design, install, and support all of this. It literally created a new type of professional. And this right here, this is the absolute key takeaway of this whole thing. Those two separate teams, they're a thing of the past. To make it today, you have to bridge that knowledge gap. Your IT and UC pros now have to understand pure AV stuff, like room acoustics and how lighting affects a camera. And the classic AV pro, you absolutely must become a network expert. You have to understand security, quality of service, firewalls. This is the birth of the comms tech engineer. You know, I think this quote just nails the mindset shift perfectly. It's not about knowing the difference between 100 different physical cables anymore. It's about understanding how to make audio and video data flow reliably and securely across a network. The entire language has changed. Okay, so if this convergence is our new reality, where do we go from here? Because let me tell you, this isn't the end of the story. This is the foundation for a whole new wave of cool stuff. First up, AI is basically your new meeting co-pilot, and it's already here with cameras that automatically zoom in and frame whoever is talking and mics that can literally erase the sound of your dog barking in the background. And this is just scratching the surface of what's coming. Next, collaboration is about to break free from the 2D screen. This whole IP foundation is what makes it possible to plug in things like augmented and virtual reality. Just imagine engineers on opposite sides of the world, both looking at a 3D hologram of a jet engine, working on it together in the same virtual space. That's where this is headed. And finally, the trend is toward managing absolutely everything from the cloud. Think about it. If you're an IT admin for a global company, you could soon deploy, configure, and even troubleshoot thousands of meeting rooms in dozens of countries, all from a single web browser. That's the real power of a fully converged IP system. So, we end on this question. The technology, it's already merged. The walls between AV and IT, they've come down. The future is 100% unified. So the only question left for every single one of us in this field is, are your skills unified too? If you want to get those skills locked in, come visit us at Commstechie.com. We've got the deep dives and all the resources you need to really master this new tech landscape. And hey, don't try to learn all this in a bubble. Join the conversation with thousands of other pros who are navigating this exact same shift. Just search for Commstechie on LinkedIn and connect with us. Thanks for watching.